If you're watching this video and you want to share your ideas with the world and you're itching to create a personal brand and develop it to earn passive income, congratulations, because just that desire alone puts you ahead of 99% of the people around you. In this video, I'm going to lay out step by step how to take this dream and translate it into a reality. For context, I grew my account from 0 to 10,000 followers in less than 6 months. The first thing you have to realize is that you've been lied to. You do not need to niche down, and you definitely don't have to have a concrete idea of your audience before you start. I'm gonna prove to you exactly why that approach is holding you back. See, I've never actually seen anyone lay out the theory that I'm gonna explain, but I think it's no doubt the most effective way to grow your following in 2026. And it involves seeing things through the lens of evolution and natural selection. So real quick, natural selection is the process by which traits that help an animal survive and reproduce become more common over time. So for example, all humans used to be lactose intolerant at one point, and as soon as being able to process lactose meant that you were more likely to survive and have kids, it became a much more prevalent trait. This is natural selection at its finest. If we're talking about how organisms evolve, we're gonna break the situation into two pieces. First is the environment. Are we in the jungle, the rainforest, the desert? What kind of other organisms are involved? This is the equivalent to the algorithm, your viewers, your competition, anything that's outside of yourself. Then comes the animal. That's you. That's your content. Now, if you're an animal in the wild, you have to be so finely tuned to your environment if you want to thrive. The only way life can survive is if it perfectly fits into that environment. The same exact thing goes for Instagram. If you want to thrive as a creator, you better know a thing or two about the underlying principles of how the algorithm works, as well as the psychology behind what exactly gets people to follow you. So there's two things you got to be aware of: retention and value. Retention is how you get people to stop their scroll. I mean, you're competing with the most hyper-processed brain rot garbage that exists. So if you don't catch someone's attention within 3 seconds, you are absolutely cooked. But the thing is, retention just gets you in the door. Value is what gets people to trust you and want to follow you. This is the insights you provide, the unique perspective that you have. As for your content, you need to furiously iterate based on what the algorithm is telling you. In other words, if you were to put a polar bear in the desert, it's gonna die pretty quickly. What so many creators out there do is they keep on putting polar bears in the desert, one after the other, hoping that it's gonna end differently each time. But not you, because you're smart and you're gonna pivot your strategy. So here's exactly what the strategy is. Basically, you need 4 pillars for your content. And these are the underlying themes or the backbone for the topics that you're gonna be creating. So this is important. Notice how the pillars are not topics themselves. They're concepts that can be turned into many different topics. So for example, for me, I have building from zero, creative craft, personal philosophy, and no BS AI. Notice how you can't make a video about one of these individual topics, but they're like umbrella terms for how I create my videos. You can tailor these pillars to what makes you unique and what you can speak to in your own personal experience. Then we have 4 proven formats to filter these pillars through. So that gives you 16 possible combinations right off the bat, and that is gonna be your ammo for testing. So here's an example of how I test my videos. You can see that I start out with varied pillars and formats at the top, and then slowly I narrow my way down according to what works. So say that didn't work, that didn't work, that didn't work. Then I take this concept and I expand on it. Then we can go to the next generation. These didn't work. Then I take this idea, expand on it further. And the thing is, although it looks like it might be pigeonholing you to one format and one pillar, you can be doing this same test simultaneously with so many different combinations. The possibilities are really endless, and it's just about trying to identify winning patterns so that you can lean on them. Here's a concrete example from my Instagram account. So as you can see, starting at the top, we got a clear signal that this video was a winner. So I stuck to that format. And in this generation, you can tell that this video is a winner. So then I kept expanding on that idea. Through natural selection, you are breeding your videos to be the most viral, interesting, and valuable they can possibly be. So the bottom line is, what most people get wrong about content is they treat it like a math problem. They think that if you just think hard enough or plan long enough or pick the perfect niche, that success is gonna follow somehow magically. But the thing is, growth doesn't work like math. It actually works closer to biology. The algorithm isn't a judge. It's not rewarding you for your effort or intention or how smart you think your idea is. It's an environment. And the thing about environments is they don't care what you want to survive. They only amplify what fits within the environment. Your content is the organism. Every post is a mutation off that organism. Every hook, every idea, every framing choice is almost an evolutionary experiment in and of itself. Most of them are gonna fail, for sure. But that's not a sign that you're bad at this. That's actually the entire point. The mistake that most creators make is they keep on forcing the same organism into the same hostile environment. Think the polar bear in the desert, and they keep hoping for a different outcome. But the creators who actually grow, those are the ones that adapt. They watch what the environment responds to. They study retention, they study value, and they let feedback determine what gets repeated. It is very important that you let feedback and not ego decide that for you. That's why you can't start by niching down. Niches are not something you choose. They're something that emerges once the environment shows you what survives. Your pillars give you the stability and they give you the base. Your formats provide the structure for you. And then together you can get dozens of controlled experiments out of that. Over time, the patterns will emerge. Certain ideas just tend to spread faster and further. Certain formats hold attention longer. That's just natural selection working in real time. Eventually, the funny thing is, you're gonna end up with content that feels obvious in hindsight, but really it's just adaptation over several generations. So if you take nothing else from this video, take this. Stop trying to be right on day one and start trying to learn faster than everybody else. Publish tons of stuff, measure it honestly, and then adapt it ruthlessly. That's how you're gonna win in 2026, and that is how you will build a personal brand that actually lasts.